don't need a classroom. You don't need expensive courses. Sometimes, all you need is a screen, a story, and the courage to start. Imagine this. A student sits alone in a small room. Outside, the world feels loud, fast, and confident. But inside, there is silence. Because speaking English feels scary. Every word feels heavy. Every sentence feels like a test. Now imagine something different. That same student presses play on Netflix. No pressure, no judgment. Just a story. This is where everything changes. Learning English through Netflix is not just about watching shows. It's about stepping into real conversations, hearing natural emotions, and feeling the rhythm of how English actually lives in the real world. You don't memorize, you absorb, you don't force yourself, you connect. This documentary is your journey, not just to learn English, but to feel confident using it. Each lesson will guide you step by step, from confusion to clarity, from silence to expression. And it all starts with one simple action. Press play. Lesson 2. The first mistake most learners make is thinking they need to understand everything. You don't. Let that sink in. When you watch a Netflix show, your brain is not a dictionary. It's a pattern machine. It learns by listening, repeating, and connecting emotions to words. Think about how you learned your first language. Nobody gave you grammar rules on day one. You listened, you copied, you made mistakes, and slowly, you improved. Netflix works the same way. When you watch a show, focus on feeling the scene. If a character is angry, notice how their voice changes. If they are happy, notice the speed, the tone, the energy. You are not just learning words, you are learning expressions. Start with simple shows. Shows with clear pronunciation and everyday conversations. Don't jump into complicated dramas full of fast slang. Pause when needed. Repeat short lines. Speak with the character. This is called shadow practice. At first, it felt strange. Then it feels natural. Then it becomes powerful. And soon, you won't just understand English. You'll start thinking about it. Lesson 3. Let's talk about subtitles. Most learners depend on subtitles in their native language. It feels comfortable, safe, easy. But comfort can slow growth. If you truly want to improve your English, you need to change how you use subtitles. Start with English subtitles. Yes, it will feel difficult at first. You might miss words. You might feel lost. That's okay. That's part of the process. When you read English subtitles while listening, your brain connects sound with spelling. This builds a strong foundation. Here's a simple method. Watch one short scene with English subtitles. Then watch the same scene again without subtitles. Listen carefully. Try to catch the words. Repeat this process daily. You will notice something amazing. Words that felt fast start to slow down. Sentences that felt confusing start to make sense. This is how fluency begins. Not with perfection, but with repetition and patience. Every scene you watch is not just entertainment. It's training your ears, your mind, and your confidence. Lesson 4. Now let's choose the right shows. Not all Netflix content is good for beginners. Some shows are too fast, too complex, or filled with difficult vocabulary. You need shows that feel natural and clear. Start with light, everyday conversation shows. Shows where people talk about daily life, friends, family, work, simple problems. These shows teach real English, the kind you actually use. Avoid heavy action or fantasy at the beginning. Those shows often use unusual words that are not helpful for daily conversation. Instead, look for shows with clear pronunciation, slower dialogue, simple storylines. When you find the right show, something magical happens. You stop translating in your head, you start understanding directly. And here's something important. Don't switch shows too often. Stay with one show for a while. Let your brain adapt to the voices, accents, and style. This builds familiarity and confidence. It's not about watching more. It's about learning deeper. And slowly, you'll feel it. English will stop feeling like a subject and start feeling like a language you live in. Lesson 5. Now we talk about speaking. Because learning English without speaking is like learning to swim without touching water. You must speak, even if it feels uncomfortable, even if you make mistakes, even if your voice shakes. Use Netflix as your speaking partner. Pause the scene. Repeat the line. Match the tone, the emotion, the speed. This is not just practice. This is transformation. You are training your mouth to move naturally in English. Start with short sentences. I don't understand. What do you mean? Let's go. Say them again, and again, and again. Feel the rhythm. Soon, your sentences will become longer, your confidence will grow, your fear will shrink. Remember this. Fluency is not about knowing everything. It's about expressing something, and every word you speak brings you one step closer to becoming confident in English. Lesson 6. By now, something inside you is shifting. At first, Netflix felt like entertainment. Now, it feels like a tool, a quiet teacher that doesn't judge you, doesn't rush you, and doesn't ask you to be perfect. But here's the truth most learners miss. Watching alone is not enough. You need intention. When you press play, don't just sit back. Sit forward. Be present. Notice how characters start conversations. Notice how they interrupt, agree, disagree, joke, and react. Real English is not just grammar. It's interaction. Pause a scene where two people are talking. Ask yourself, why did one person say that? How did the other person respond? What emotion is behind those words? This is how you learn conversation flow. You begin to understand not just what to say, but when to say it. And suddenly, English becomes less about fear and more about connection. Lesson 7. Let's talk about fear, because it's always there. The fear of sounding wrong, the fear of being judged, the fear of not being good enough. But here's something powerful. Every actor you watch on Netflix, practice those lines. They didn't get it perfect on the first try. So why do you expect yourself to? Learning English is not about avoiding mistakes. It's about using them. When you repeat a line and it sounds strange, don't stop. Smile. Try again. Your brain is building new pathways. Your mouth is learning new movements. Mistakes are not signs of failure. They are signs of progress. So the next time you feel fear, do something different. Speak anyway. Even if your voice is low. Even if your sentence is broken. Because every time you speak, you break the wall a little more. Lesson 8. Now let's unlock a powerful technique. Chunk learning. Instead of learning single words, learn phrases. Not understand, but I understand. Not wait, but wait a second. When you watch Netflix, pay attention to these small phrases. These are the real building blocks of fluency. Write them down if you can. Speak them out loud, because in real conversations, people don't speak word by word. They speak in chunks. I don't think so. That makes sense. Give me a minute. These phrases come naturally when you practice them as a whole. And here's the magic. When you learn chunks, your brain responds faster. You don't need to build sentences from zero. You already have ready-made expressions. This is how fluent speakers talk, not by thinking more, but by remembering patterns. And Netflix is full of those patterns. You just need to notice them. Lesson 9. Let's go deeper. You've been watching, listening, repeating. But now it's time to feel. Language is emotion. When a character says, "I'm fine," sometimes they are not fine. Sometimes they are sad, angry, or hiding something. Listen beyond the words. Watch their faces, their body, their tone. This is how you learn real communication. Because in real life, people don't always say exactly what they feel. If you only learn vocabulary, you miss the meaning. But if you learn emotion, you understand the message. Try this. Pick a short, emotional scene. Repeat the lines with the same feeling. Be angry. Be excited. Be confused. It might feel strange at first. But this is how you bring English to life. You are not just learning to speak. You are learning to express. Lesson 10. Now let's build your daily routine. Because consistency is your real teacher. You don't need 5 hours a day. You need 30 focused minutes. Start with one short scene. Watch it once for understanding. Watch it again with subtitles. Pause and repeat key lines. Speak with emotion. That's it. Do this every day. Not sometimes. Not when you feel motivated, but every day. Because small steps, repeated daily, create big results. After 1 week, you'll notice improvement. After 1 month, you'll feel different. After 3 months, you won't recognize your old self. Consistency beats intensity. Always. Lesson 11. Let's talk about accents. Many learners worry about sounding perfect. British or American? Clear or fast? Natural or textbook? Here's the truth. Clarity matters more than perfection. Netflix exposes you to natural American accents. Listen carefully to how words connect. I want to becomes wanna. Going to becomes gonna. This is real spoken English. You don't have to copy everything immediately, but you should understand it. Start slow. Say the full form first, then try the natural version. This helps your listening and speaking together. Remember, your goal is not to sound like someone else. Your goal is to be understood. Confidently. Lesson 12. Now we enter a new level. Prediction. Before a character speaks, try to guess what they will say, based on the situation, the emotion, the story. This trains your brain to think in English. At first, you might be wrong. That's okay. The goal is not accuracy. The goal is engagement. When you predict, you become active. You are no longer just watching. You are participating. And this changes everything. Because language is not passive. It's active, alive, moving. And now, so are you. Lesson 13. Let's bring in real shows. Start with simple conversational shows like Friends. The dialogues are clear. The situations are everyday. The humor helps you remember lines easily. Another great option is The Good Place. It has simple conversations mixed with interesting ideas, making learning both fun and meaningful. If you want something modern, try Never Have I Ever. The language is natural, emotional, and relatable. Choose one show. Stick with it. Let the characters become familiar. Because when you feel connected, you learn faster. Lesson 14. Now let's talk about burnout. Sometimes you feel tired. You don't want to watch. You don't want to repeat. You feel like you're not improving. This is normal. Every learner faces this. But here's what matters. Don't stop. Even if you watch just 10 minutes, even if you repeat just one sentence, keep going. Because consistency during low motivation builds real discipline, and discipline builds results. You don't need to feel excited every day. You just need to show up. Lesson 15. You've come further than you think. From fear to practice, from silence to speaking, from confusion to clarity. And this is just the beginning. Netflix is not just a tool, it's your environment. The more you surround yourself with English, the more natural it becomes. Soon, you won't translate. You won't hesitate. You won't overthink. You will just speak. And when that moment comes, you'll realize something powerful. You didn't just learn English. You built confidence. Lesson 16. Something important is happening now. You're no longer a beginner who is just trying to understand. You're becoming a learner who can interact. And that shift changes everything. At this stage, you must stop treating Netflix like a teacher you depend on, and start treating it like a world you enter. When you watch a scene, don't just observe the characters. Become one of them. Ask yourself, if I were in this situation, what would I say? Pause the scene before the character speaks. Say your own line, then play it and compare. This is powerful, because now you're not copying English. You're creating it. Even if your sentence is simple, it's yours. And every original sentence you create builds real confidence. You're not just learning English anymore. You're starting to live in it. Lesson 17. Let's talk about thinking in English. This is the moment every learner dreams about. When you stop translating in your head and start thinking directly in English. Netflix helps you reach this stage faster, but only if you use it correctly. After watching a short scene, close your eyes. Replay it in your mind. Now describe it in English. The man was angry. She didn't agree. They were arguing. Keep it simple. Your goal is not perfect grammar. Your goal is clear thinking. At first, your thoughts will be slow. That's okay. Speed comes later. Clarity comes first. And slowly, something amazing will happen. Your brain will stop asking, "What is this in my language?" It will start saying, "This is what I mean." That's real progress. Lesson 18. Now we step into listening mastery. Because understanding fast English is a skill. And like every skill, it can be trained. When you watch Netflix, you might feel like people speak too fast. But the truth is, they don't speak fast. Your brain is just not used to the rhythm yet. English has a natural flow. Words connect, sounds drop, syllables reduce. Instead of fighting this, train your ears. Pick a short line. Listen to it 3 times without subtitles. Don't panic if you miss words. Just listen, then turn on subtitles and check. Repeat the line slowly, then match the speed. This process rewires your listening ability. And one day, without warning, you'll understand a full sentence at normal speed. And you'll smile. Because you'll know it's working. Lesson 19. Let's build emotional memory. Because what you feel, you remember. Think about your favorite scene. Maybe it made you laugh. Maybe it made you emotional. Maybe it surprised you. That scene is powerful. Now use it. Replay that scene. Repeat the lines with the same emotion. Smile when they smile. Pause when they pause. Feel what they feel. This is not acting. This is learning. Because when emotion is involved, your brain stores language deeper. You won't forget those lines. They become part of you. And later, in real life, those same expressions will come out naturally. Without effort. Without fear. Lesson 20. Now we talk about speed versus accuracy. Most learners focus on speaking fast. But speed without clarity creates confusion. So slow down. Speak clearly. Let every word have space. Netflix helps you hear natural speed, but your job is to build control. Start slow. I don't understand. Then gradually increase speed. I don't understand. Finally, reach natural flow. I don't understand. This step-by-step approach builds strong pronunciation. And here's the secret. When you practice slowly, you improve faster. Because your brain learns correctly from the beginning. So don't rush. Fluency is not about being fast. It's about being clear, confident, and natural. Lesson 21. Let's go deeper into pronunciation. English is not just about words, it's about sound patterns. When you watch shows like Friends, notice how words blend together. Did you eat? Sounds like didja eat? Wanna go? Sounds like wanna go? This is connected speech. At first, it sounds confusing, but once you recognize it, everything becomes clearer. Practice these patterns. Don't force them. Let them grow naturally through repetition. Because pronunciation is not about perfection, it's about comfort. And the more comfortable you become, the more natural you sound. Lesson 22. Now we introduce recording. This step changes everything. Take your phone. Record yourself speaking a line from Netflix. Then listen. At first, it might feel uncomfortable. You might think, I don't sound good. That's okay. Don't judge. Observe. Compare your voice with the original. Notice the differences. Then try again. This is how improvement happens. Because what you don't hear, you can't fix. Recording gives you awareness, and awareness creates growth. Lesson 23. Let's talk about vocabulary, but not the way you learned before. Forget long word lists. Focus on useful words. When you watch Netflix, notice words that appear again and again. Simple words, everyday words. Those are your priority. Learn them in context, not alone. For example, instead of just learning deal, learn, deal with it. That's a big deal. This makes vocabulary alive, and when you use it in real life, it feels natural. Lesson 24. Now we unlock confidence in conversations. Because at some point, you will speak to real people, and that moment can feel scary. But remember this. You've already practiced hundreds of conversations through Netflix. You've heard how people start, continue, and end conversations. So trust yourself. Start simple. Hey, how are you? What do you think? I agree. Use the phrases you've practiced. You don't need perfect sentences. You need real communication. And the more you speak, the easier it becomes. Lesson 25. You are halfway through this journey. Pause for a moment. Look back. You started with fear. Now you have tools. You have methods. You have confidence building inside you. And the best part? You didn't do it through pressure. You did it through stories, through connection, through Netflix. This is the power of learning differently. And from here, the journey becomes even stronger. Because now, you're not just learning, you're evolving. Lesson 26. Now you are entering a stage most learners never reach. This is where English stops feeling like study and starts feeling like presence. You're not just watching shows anymore. You're noticing silence, pauses, reactions. In real conversations, people don't speak all the time. They pause. They think. They react without words. Watch a scene carefully. Notice when a character doesn't speak, but still communicates. A look, a sigh, a small smile. This is part of English too. Because real communication is not just language. It's human behavior. Now try this. Watch a scene on mute. Yes, no sound. Guess what's happening? Then turn the sound on. Check your understanding. This builds powerful intuition. you start understanding meaning beyond words, and that is advanced communication. Lesson 27. Let's sharpen your instincts. You've been repeating lines. Now it's time to transform them. Take a line from a show. I don't want to go. Now change it. I don't want to do this. I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to try anymore. Same structure, different meanings. This is how you expand your speaking ability. You don't need new grammar every time. You need flexibility. Netflix gives you the original pattern. You create variations. This builds creativity in English. And when you speak in real life, you won't feel stuck because you'll know how to adapt. Lesson 28. Now let's talk about real-life speed. Because conversations don't wait. People speak, interrupt, and react quickly. To prepare for this, you need pressure training. Choose a short dialogue. Play it. Pause after each sentence. Respond immediately. No thinking, just speaking. Even if it's simple, even if it's not perfect. This builds response speed. Because fluency is not just about knowledge. It's about reaction. And the faster you respond, the more confident you feel. Lesson 29. Let's deepen your listening even more. You've trained your ears. Now train your focus. When watching Netflix, don't always follow the main character. Listen to side characters, background conversations, short reactions like, yeah, right, exactly. These are small, but powerful, because real conversations are built on these small responses. Practice them. Say them naturally. Yeah, right, I get it. These make your English sound real, not robotic. Lesson 30. Now we enter emotional courage. Because at some point, you will feel stuck again. You'll think, I'm not improving. This is a lie your mind tells you. Growth is not always visible. Sometimes your brain is building silently. Trust the process. Keep showing up, even when progress feels slow. Because one day, suddenly, you'll understand a full episode without effort, and you'll realize you were improving all along. Lesson 31. Now let's talk about identity. This is powerful. You are not someone learning English. You are someone who uses English. That small shift changes your behavior. When you watch a show like Never Have I Ever, don't just watch. Engage like a user of the language. Laugh at the jokes. React to the drama. Feel the awkward moments. This builds emotional connection. And when you connect emotionally, you learn faster. Lesson 32. Let's go deeper into thinking. Start describing your day in English. Simple sentences. I woke up early. I watched a show. I felt tired. Use what you learned from Netflix. This bridges the gap between practice and real life. Because language must move from screen to your reality. Lesson 33. Now we build confidence under pressure. Imagine this. Someone asks you a question in English. Your mind goes blank. This happens to everyone. Here's how you handle it. Use filler phrases. Let me think. That's a good question. I'm not sure, but these give you time, and they make you sound natural. You've heard these on Netflix. Now use them. Lesson 34. Let's improve your storytelling. Because conversations are stories. Watch how characters tell stories in shows like The Good Place. They don't use complex words. They use simple sentences, but they connect them smoothly. Practice telling a short story. What happened today? What did you watch? What did you feel? Keep it simple, but keep it flowing. Lesson 35. Now we unlock advanced listening. Watch a scene without subtitles. Completely, even if you don't understand everything. Train your brain to stay calm, because panic blocks learning. Stay relaxed, catch what you can, ignore what you miss. This builds real listening strength. Lesson 36. Let's talk about consistency again, because this is where most people fail. Not because they can't learn, but because they stop. Don't stop. Even 10 minutes matters. Even one line matters. Progress is built daily. Lesson 37. Now you're building fluency layers. Listening, speaking, thinking, feeling, all together. This is real learning, not separate skills, but one system, and you are inside it. Lesson 38. Let's sharpen your confidence. Speak in front of a mirror. Yes. Look at yourself. Say the lines. Watch your expression. This builds self-awareness and confidence, because you see yourself improving. Lesson 39. Now we approach mastery. You don't need perfect grammar. You need clear communication. Focus on being understood, not being perfect, because perfection slows you down. Clarity moves you forward. Lesson 40. You've come so far. From watching, to speak, to think, to feel English. This is transformation. And you're not done yet. The final stage is coming, where everything connects, and you become fluent. Lesson 41. This is the stage where everything becomes real. Not practice, not preparation, but real use. Up until now, Netflix has been your training ground, a safe space where you could pause, repeat, and try again. But now, it's time to carry English into your life. Start small. When you think in English. When you react in English. When you're alone, speak out loud. It might feel strange. But remember, every fluent speaker once felt the same way. You are building a new habit, a new identity. And it starts with one decision: to stop waiting and start using. Because English is not something you finish learning. It's something you live. Lesson 42. Let's talk about real conversations again, because this is where confidence is tested. Imagine this moment. Someone speaks to you in English. Fast, natural, unexpectedly. Your heart beats faster. Your mind searches for words. And for a second, everything feels blank. But then, you remember all those scenes, all those lines, all that practice, and you respond, maybe not perfectly, but clearly. That moment matters, because it proves something powerful. You can do this, and once you experience that moment, you'll never go back to fear again. Lesson 43. Now we refine your expression, because communication is not just about words. It's about how you say them. Watch how characters change tone. A simple sentence like "okay" can mean many things. Agreement, frustration, sarcasm, excitement. Practice this. Say "okay" in different ways. Feel the difference. Because tone carries meaning. And when you control your tone, you control your message. Lesson 44. Let's talk about understanding humor. This is an advanced skill, because humor depends on timing, culture, and tone. Shows like Friends are full of simple jokes. At first, you might not understand them. That's okay. Watch again. Focus on the reaction. Why did people laugh? What was unexpected? Over time, your understanding grows. And one day, you laugh instantly. Not because you translated, but because you understood. That's fluency. Lesson 45. Now we reach emotional fluency. This is the deepest level, when you can express your feelings in English, not just basic ideas, but real emotions. I'm frustrated. I feel confused. I'm proud of myself. These sentences matter, because language is not just for communication, it's for connection. And when you can express your emotions, you connect with people. Lesson 46. Let's reflect. You started this journey with hesitation, maybe even doubt. But you didn't stop. You showed up. You practiced. You stayed consistent. And now, you are different. Your listening is sharper. Your speaking is stronger. Your confidence is growing. This is not luck. This is an effort. And you earned it. Lesson 47. Now we prepare for independence. Because soon, you won't need guidance. You'll know what to do. Watch. Listen. Repeat. Feel. Speak. This becomes your system, your habit, your lifestyle. And once learning becomes a habit, it never stops. Lesson 48. Let's build your future vision. Imagine yourself 6 months from now, watching Netflix without subtitles, understanding conversations naturally, speaking without fear, feeling comfortable. That version of you is real, not a dream, not a wish, a result. And you are already on the path. Lesson 49. Now we bring everything together. Netflix was never the goal. It was the bridge. A bridge from silence to expression, from fear to have confidence, from confusion to clarity. You walked that bridge, step by step, lesson by lesson, and now you're on the other side. Lesson 50. Close your eyes for a moment. Think about who you were before this journey. The hesitation, the doubt, the fear of speaking. Now open your eyes. You're not that person anymore. You are someone who listens, understands, and speaks. Not perfectly, but confidently. And that is what matters. Remember this. Fluency is not a destination. It's a daily decision. A decision to keep learning, to keep practicing, to keep growing. So the next time you open Netflix, don't just watch. Learn, feel, speak. Because every scene is an opportunity, every line is a step forward, and every word you say builds the future version of you. Now go, press play, and keep becoming.